phenomenon that only occurs once in every 2.5 million pregnancies.
But proud parents Hannah and Dan defied the odds when they welcomed their conjoined twins, Annabelle and Isabelle, this March.
Well, the sisters, who are attached from the chest to the pelvis, share a bladder, a bowel and a fused leg, but crucially have separate hearts.
Well, as the family now prepares for the challenge of separation, they join us live from their home in Northern Ireland. Morning to both of you and your family there. Firstly, congratulations.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The beautiful baby girls. So let's begin at the very beginning here, because you've been together for 14 years, married for 6 years, but having a family for both of you was something that was very, very important, but wasn't something that was that easy, was it? The road to fertility was a tough one.
Yes, it was. It was a very long journey, but absolutely worth it. We tried for quite a few years to have the girls. I was very overweight as well, which didn't help. So we weren't, we couldn't get any treatment until I lost weight, which I did. And as soon as we started treatment, our first cycle, we conceived the girls. At that point, we went for a very early scan, was just one baby, just one wee heartbeat. And then we got the big shock at the booking-in scan that it was twins.
So this was at the 12-week scan, and that's when you were told. How was it broken to you? What was said? What was known at that point?
The midwife kept it very, very calm. At that point, she just told us that it was twins, but that she wanted us to go and see the consultant at the local hospital. Even then, we weren't told. We knew that they were concerned, but we were referred then to fetal medicine in Belfast. And that's when we were told. It never dawned on us that that was going to be a possibility. And as they were doing the scan, I was watching, and it just dawned on both of us. Before the consultant even said, I said, "Are they conjoined?" And he says, "Yes, I think they are."
And so with conjoined twins, I mean, really, until they're born, you don't really know the extent of what you're facing. And so really, this is a situation, it's so incredibly rare that for you as parents, it's not something that you've sort of considered or even thought about. So you start doing your own research, and I've just had a little look this morning, and I mean, it's a tough road to tread, that's for sure. Approximately 40 to 60% of conjoined twins arrive stillborn, while around 35% survive only one day. The odds of longer-term survival can depend on where they are conjoined. So, really, you're sort of getting through this pregnancy to get to the delivery to see what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. And plus, we're first-time parents, you know, and we've never had the experience of even having kids before, which, you know, was just an added layer to it as well.
Yeah, it was the most difficult, the most strange first pregnancy. I think the word we used quite often was we felt in limbo. There wasn't enough information. We could cope and process the bad information actually better than no information. It was the no information really that we struggled with. Yeah, the limbo was the
worst, if you know what I mean. You don't know, at least, as you said, bad information, you can process it, deal with it, but not knowing anything was worse.
Yeah.
And every appointment you're going to, what do we find out next?
Well, so, Hannah, you came over to London for treatment 3 months before the pregnancy, which I know, I mean, you work for the NHS, and Dan, you run a fruit and veg business. So this is, you know, a bit of a blow on the finances, that's for sure, to be away for 3 months. What was which we'll come to the finances in just a moment. What was the birth plan? What were the thoughts?
So the advice we were told actually early days at 13 weeks when we first came over to London was that I would need to move at 26 weeks. And then a lot of the planning sort of came in then. But no, the birth plan was quite well organised. I have to say the support we had from both UCLH and Great Ormond Street and the run-up to the delivery was actually reassuring, as reassuring as anything could be at that point. We didn't know how well the girls were going to be born. We hoped for the best because they were so determined, and the fact that we got to 35 weeks in itself was a miracle. so that we were trying to prepare and, you know, make the most of knowing what we were going to go through to prepare for worst case or very sick babies. Surprisingly, the girls were born so well.
Yeah, it was a miracle. Like.
Yeah, once those wee cries in the theatre, when they were delivered, it just changed the whole tone of it all. And we nearly weren't prepared for it to go so well.
So where does that leave you now then? Because like I said just now, you're kind of waiting for them to be born to see what the next stage is really. So like you said, that moment, those cries, you've got these beautiful, healthy girls here. So then what happens? What's the next phase? Because we said crucially what you were hoping for was that they had individual hearts. That was the sort of key, which, thank goodness, they did. So what happens next for them?
They do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of planning now. Everything's been slightly delayed. Unfortunately, as soon as we come home, we all got COVID. So the surgery had been planned for the end of May and it's all been delayed. So we're waiting on those sort of plans to be finalised. There's a lot of very smart people in Great Ormond Street and there's going to be a lot of very detailed imaging done with the girls and models created. I do think a lot of it will only be discovered during the surgery, but we just, I suppose, have to have faith that they've fought so hard to be here so far that it will go well. Yeah. We just have to have that faith. They're very determined wee girls.
Yeah. And they're absolutely beautiful. So they're both going to grow up with different medical needs, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a very long, different, challenging road for them. And one wee girl might have certain issues and another wee girl might have a different set. That's going to be the challenging thing too. And they'll be going for surgeries probably for the rest of most of their lives. But we're hoping that their quality of life should be good. They're just so determined that we really think that they're going to fly through it. I think it's going to be more challenging for us. Yeah. We sort of said before the girls were born, we were sitting in Great Ormond Street and we said it's a very scary place to be, thinking you're going to have sick children. But if we're coming back here for the next 18 years, it means the girls have survived. Yeah. So our whole perspective has shifted on what's good news and what's bad news.
Yeah, I bet. And so sort of with your lives and you know, looking after sick children, as we know from being here and hearing stories from other parents, it is incredibly expensive. All of your treatment is at Great Ormond Street. You live in Northern Ireland. You're going to have to travel. Hannah, you're going to have to pretty much give up your job because you're going to have to care for the girls because they're going to need the treatment. So financially, this is putting a real stretch on you. And I know that you've got some incredible friends who have been amazingly supportive emotionally, but they've also set up a Just Giving page also.
Yeah, the support has been amazing. Our Just Giving page has sort of went from strength to strength. Our church even was fundraising for us. Dan's customers have been amazing. Whether it's wee gifts, wee tokens for the girls, whether it's handmade blankets, we just can't get over the generosity of people. And, you know, it's a very hard when you have pride to rely on that sort of generosity. It's never a position we've ever been in.
And it's been all new to us, like, you know, it's...
But I think it's just, these wee girls have just sort of worked their way into so many people's hearts. And we feel like there's so many people on this journey with us, and that support we will need, we're going to need for the coming years.
Well, as
but we're so very
brilliant
grateful.
At the start, like going over and all, like with so much support.
As you hold them there, they're actually in the shape of a heart. They're absolutely beautiful. It's, as you say, it's
we have a beautiful picture of Dan holding them that's like that.
Yeah, it's just
and probably the best behaved babies we've ever had on this morning.
Definitely. Definitely. Lots of love.
Don't jinx us. Don't jinx us.
We'll put your Just Giving details on our app. So if anyone would like to help, then because as we said, Hannah, you work for the NHS, so it's maybe time to say thank you to you as well. Take care, both
Lots
of you.
Of love.
All four of you, actually.
That's
Instant
okay.
family. There you go.
Thank
you, guys.
you.